Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows.
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about season 2, episode 11, titled "The Heart Brings You Back." Air day January 25th, 2005, and the synopsis is:
Karen has a misunderstanding which makes her break up with Andy. Haley chickens out on her music career, so Chris goes on tour alone. When she gets home, her sister Taylor is there. Jake is back to check on Peyton. Lucas finds out how Dan set up Jules to break Key's heart. Felix has a fight with Lucas for hurting Anna. So this is our first episode of 2005 as well.
Is it?
Yep. The last one was
No.
November. I think like right before Thanksgiving. Yeah, so we start off with
Gotcha.
the
See, we're moving right along. 2005.
right. So we start off with the last scene from the last episode with Lucas seeing Brooke and Felix kissing in her room through her open door. For some reason it's opened. He's narrating. And then so he walks away, starts raining. And now Hillary, Joy, and Sophia were talking about how this was a dream. Like they were having dreams in this episode. Um like, with Brooke and Felix and then Haley and Chris. So it didn't actually
I don't think
happen.
so.
Yeah, like because
They
I
did
believe
too happen.
yeah, so I don't that confused me when I was listening to it the last couple of days for
Well,
this.
it happened. It happened because Jake said Haley was kissing some guy
Yep.
at
Yeah.
the bus stop. So that was true.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a dream
Right.
at all
Yeah.
because otherwise he wouldn't know that, would he?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Nathan's still waiting for Haley to get home after he made dinner. And
Oh
then
my God, this
yeah.
breaks. Okay, I love Nathan, so I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
my heart breaks for him. I just love him so much.
Yeah, when he blows out the candles, giving up or she's not coming.
And see,
And
and
then
see, Cynthia, he's looking good. I'm telling you.
mm-hmm. And then the next thing is Chris and Haley on the bus. Haley says she doesn't even have a toothbrush. And then she says she can't believe she's doing this. But then we go back to uh, a moment to when Chris kissed Haley. Um, she said she's not ready for this, or he says that she's not ready for this. And he figured, so then he just walks off to get on the bus.
What did you think with another kiss?
Yeah, like we kind of said before, it just seemed unnecessary. They should just save the kiss for the bus scene. But then we would have saw
No,
it
but
twice
how many
anyhow.
times
But
do you have to kiss somebody?
right, yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I only remember the one in the studio. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
look back, I forgot that they kissed at the bus stop.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes me more mad that, it happened at the bus stop too. Because remember how it was always just like it was always just a kiss. Remember? They always played it at a kiss. Well, clearly one. So that's what's making me mad now is like, don't, like trying to like rewrite history as just, oh, it was just a kiss. It meant nothing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's more than one kiss now. So what do you want to say about that? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate, because later on, remember, she says, it's just a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I don't think you know what a kiss means.
Right. So then back with Deb and Karen, Deb says she's sorry. She should have told her about keys. Karen tells her to leave, so she does. And then Nathan is cleaning up the dinner he had made for him and Haley, and there's a knock on the door. And of course, Nathan thinks it's Haley, but when he opens it, he sees a soaked Taylor because it's still
Okay,
raining.
yeah, this to me was weird because here's the continuity issue. Is he opens up the door and he was like, and she says that she's like Haley's sister or whatever, and he's like, oh, Vivian. Who the hell is Vivian? Vivian.
Hmm.
And he says Quinn, which obviously later on we know who Quinn is, but then she says she's Taylor, and I'm just like, well, but who's Vivian?
Right.
That's why it's like in the later seasons, I'm just like, y'all know there was a Vivian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what I mean. Like, if you put somebody in there, not only did like season one, she had this huge family, but now you actually put names in there.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna mess that one up?
Right. They should just mention that Vivian lives out of state or something. That's why they don't see her. But
Like yeah, she has a family, she's married, she has kids. Like
mm-hmm.
Pacey's sister, remember?
Yeah.
We saw her at his birthday party, but we didn't like really see her. We saw Gretchen.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been that simple.
Right.
And she moved out of the country. I don't know, but just something that she exists because she clearly existed in this episode.
Yep.
It's not like Taylor's middle name is Vivian.
Right. Yeah. That could be a cover up. Could have done.
That would have made more
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah. So then,
Oh,
she,
so
mm,
Nathan has never met any of her siblings though, right?
yeah, yeah, because for some reason they weren't a part of the wedding. They weren't called until afterward, like everybody else. Um, yeah, because especially since how we know Quinn later, I know she definitely would have wanted to be there, for their first wedding or their second. But you know, for some reason they weren't, and they never explained why. Taylor or Taylor, we know was in college, but like they never explained why Quinn was away until, season 5 or whatever it was that she came in. So
Okay, because who's the oldest?
I thought it was Quinn
Are you sure?
because Taylor is supposed to be 3 years older than Haley. So right now here, I was guessing she's like about 19. So then Quinn might be like in her early 20s, maybe. And then Vivian, I don't know about Vivian, but maybe she's the
But there
oldest. I
ain't
don't
no
know.
Vivian. You might as well cut that one out.
Okay,
There
well,
ain't
yeah,
no
Quinn.
Vivian. I'm talking
Quinn,
about
yeah.
Quinn.
Yeah, I always thought Quinn was the older one, especially, because we know that she's married later on, later down the line, and it seemed like they were
See, I
together for
thought
a
it was.
while.
Are you sure it wasn't Taylor Quinn Haley?
Um, I don't know, because Nathan doesn't mention seeing Quinn at school or anything either. So
Well, he never saw Haley and she was in his grade.
yeah, I don't know. It'd make more sense why he doesn't know Quinn because she was already at the high school by the time they went there.
Because I'm trying to think. Remember when they had that big fight in season seven? The girls. I'm trying to think if who's older, Quinn or Taylor. Do you remember that at the Scott
Yeah.
house? Yeah, I'm because we all know Haley's the baby, but
Hmm.
which one? Because they say like Quinn and Taylor went to high school together. Remember? Taylor stealing her boyfriends and stuff. So it's like, so who's
Oh,
older?
so yeah, then maybe Quinn's like a year older than Taylor then. So 4 years older than Haley.
Yeah, I'd love to know how old she is.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's weird that he doesn't know
Yeah, because
her at all.
yeah, because their personality wise, like, makes sense that way because, Quinn's the more level-headed, responsible sibling, while Taylor's the more out of control, like, kind of wants the attention, like, as like a middle child would be, because, the attention would be more on the oldest and the youngest sibling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as what I hear, but about middle siblings, but, because my sister isn't like that, nothing like Taylor. Um, yeah, so she comes in because it's still pouring rain out. And then when she bends over, Nathan sees a tattoo in the same place Haley has, but it's a
Wonder,
scorpion.
wonder where she got that idea from.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, this is what's kind of funny is like in this episode, Haley like hates Taylor, wishes she'd go away, all that stuff. But when you look at it, she actually looks up to Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
why else would you get, a tattoo in the same place your older sister does? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's what a little
Mm-hmm.
sister does is copy the older
Mm.
sister. So
Right.
I'm like, Haley. So when she's going off on how much she hates her sister, it's just like, I mean, there's a part of you that likes her because why else would you put a permanent thing on you?
Mm-hmm. Right. And
And
then
also, Nathan remembers that tattoo.
yeah,
Oh my God. This, Cynthia, did you like this episode with him just like,
like trying to avoid her.
no, he was just so funny. When he was around her.
Like
Talking about
starting with,
Taylor.
yeah, like when she was bending over and she asks if he can grab that and he says, "Excuse me," and she answers her suitcase.
No,
Like
I was
that?
talking about everything else. I was talking about when he
Oh,
had the beer and when he
oh,
just
yeah,
drops
yeah.
everything and just like embarrasses him. It's just so funny.
Yeah, I just count the suitcase thing, the first one. And you know, Nathan just says that Haley's out, but not, where. And
You know what? I think that's what's weird is like you would think that you would tell her um sister exactly what she's doing.
hmm
Well, okay, because I'm saying you don't want to tell your own family, right? Because then it looks bad. Like then they'll hate that person forever.
hmm
But you can tell their own family.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
hmm
Like that's your family.
Right. Yeah, so then Nathan
Yeah.
tells her to make
I don't know. It's
herself
just
at
kind of weird that
home.
he didn't tell her.
Yeah. Yeah, so Nathan tells her to make herself at home, and Taylor says, "Careful what you wish for, little brother-in-law." I didn't like the little part of that.
Because we know he ain't little.
hmm And then we go back to Jake walking up towards Rick and Peyton when he was going to give her the Coke. And Rick asks, "Who the hell are you?" And he replies back with, "Who the hell are you?" And Payne tells Rick, "Never mind. She made a mistake." So then Rick just says, "High school girls," and walks away. Yeah, so I think that was the last time we saw Rick, right? At this point.
Yes. And I'm hoping we never see him again.
Yeah, because he should be in jail for not only not giving out, but selling coke, but to minors. So then, Peyton hugs Jake, and then suddenly she wakes up, and it's 1:43 a.m. Now, this is a part where I can see where Hillary, Sophia, and Joy thought it was a dream because it did kind of set it up like a dream, but obviously, I think that was still real. I think she was like dreaming of the memory from the other night. So,
Well, yeah, because you can replay it in your memory.
yeah. Yeah, so Jake's in her room, sitting on a chair, and she asks if he's back for good. And like, where's Jenny? Jake answers that he didn't bring her, and he's only there for a couple of days to check on her. So I wonder, I guess he left Jenny with his cousins back in Savannah
Stuff.
alone.
Well, he must trust them.
Yeah. And I guess Nikki never found him.
Not yet.
Yeah, because you would think, I forgot where Brooke told her where he went, but you think after she would realize that he's not there, she would come
Oh,
back.
she said Seattle.
Oh yeah. Well, you think that when she got to Seattle and realized he wasn't there, that she would come back to Tree Hill and, ask Brooke and Payne again where he is, but I guess
Or
she
beat him
didn't.
up.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, so she brings up that he never answered any of her emails. And he said that like I said, said before, he didn't want to give Nikki a chance of tracking him down. And then he didn't want to get, Peyton even more caught up in it. And then, Jake said that he hasn't heard from Nikki. And Payne says, about Seattle. That's where that's where Brooke told him or told her that he went. And then, he says he's going to see his parents. Other than that, he's just going to keep a low profile. It's their secret and tells her to go back to sleep to talk about it in the morning.
He shouldn't even be there. Like, if he's so
hmm
worried about something happening to Jenny, then he
Yeah.
should be with Jenny.
Yeah.
And he's only coming in for one episode to watch Peyton. Like, what's he gonna do next week? Do you know what I mean?
hmm
It's really annoying.
Yeah. So I don't know if this was after his show was done with or maybe he was on a break. I don't know. But either way, it was just weird for him to come back and then disappear again because it just was really unnecessary. But I don't know. I guess they couldn't think of another character to, save her that night from Rick. But I don't know.
Well, it's just weird because um it's just for like one episode. Like I don't get it. I mean, I know
hmm
he comes later, but
Yeah.
right now it's only one episode.
hmm
So I just thought it was weird.
Yeah. Because yeah, he should have just stayed. He was gonna come back right now. But yeah, so Haley finally gets home and then she's trying to be sneaky for some reason. Um but Nathan was sitting right there and asked where the hell she's been. He scares
That
her
was
and
that was good. Where the hell have you been?
mm-hmm.
I was like, way to go, Nathan. Told you I love you.
Yeah. And she says she needs to clear her head.
Why? Okay, Cynthia, explain to me what that means.
Just an excuse for being out so long, which is stupid. But she gets scared again because Taylor rushes into the room in a robe and a towel on her head.
Okay, but do you agree that Haley should um be able to, or that she should clear her head in the pouring rain?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense unless she
I thought that
went to a
was Nathan.
cafe.
I thought that was Nathan and Haley's thing, the pouring rain.
Hmm. Yeah, so Taylor just tells Haley she's on break and she wanted to see the house before the new people moved in, their parents. And she hasn't seen her in forever. And then
Oh,
their
what show did you say Brian was doing?
um October Rush was what's it what was it called?
You mean October Road?
Oh yeah, there you go. October
That
Road.
came out
That
in
was
2007.
oh. Well, no, he did some I remember that Hillary said he did something else. That's why he left the first
I
time.
know he did a movie.
Yeah, I think it was the movie.
I don't
It's
know what it
something.
was, but he did a movie.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, that came out after he was on One Tree Hill.
okay, yeah. So it was the movie then. Pretty sure anybody else would probably know the answer to that right off the top of the head. Well, we would have to look it up. So yeah. Um, and then their mom told Taylor that Harry got married, and then Nathan said she could stay for a couple of days.
Okay, and then it was okay. I love that part because Taylor's like, he said I could stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haley's like, you said what? Like, basically, you said what? And he was like, hey, you weren't here,
Mm-hmm.
which is true. What is he supposed to say?
Right.
Sorry, I need to talk to Haley first. I don't,
Right.
you know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
is weird, especially
Yeah.
when who knows when she's coming home? Maybe she's coming home next week. He
Yeah.
doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. And then,
And
they go in.
well, think about it. She's so in a different world right now. She doesn't even think of him. So what does it matter what he does at this point?
Right. Yeah, so they go in the bedroom to talk, and Haley's mad, of course, but Nathan, says that he just told her that she could make herself comfortable because, she wasn't there. And then Nathan asks if, she was with Chris again, and Haley admits she was. He gets upset.
But he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You still went to see him again for the millionth time.
Mm-hmm. And then she brings up that Chris wanted her to go with him, but she said no because her life is here. And he didn't mean anything to her. And besides, they're gonna have to sit together if they're going
Do
to
you
survive
think
Hurricane Taylor.
do you think that they should have made it okay, because like how, as Haley, like how do you come back from this whole Chris thing? Like redemption.
Um,
Do you know what
I
I
don't know.
mean? Like for fans, it's like because I hate season two. I do because of this whole thing with Nathan and Haley. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, how do you come back from it? Because like Haley's supposed to be the likable character,
Mm-hmm.
and I would think that they would have down, I don't know, the whole Chris thing. Like he made a move on her once, not twice. She only went to see him to say goodbye once, not five times. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They should have downplayed it instead of
Mm-hmm.
make it so known that now she's got like two guys in her life, and it's like she should only have one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
because I love Nathan and Haley so much, I wish they would have wrote it that way because then when she goes on, in the future, it wouldn't be so upsetting because are you going for him or for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because she obviously says for herself, but look at what we're watching. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish, because I mean, Nathan could still think what he wants in the future, but as an audience, we could have been like supportive of her. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wish they would have done it that way, where she doesn't like him, and we can clearly tell, but Nathan is still jealous. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
I just wish they would have played it that way because it is going to be hard for Haley to come back from this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can tell you like what I've seen like on the internet of like the season 5 stuff of Nathan and Haley, people come back to the whole Chris thing.
Mm.
And I'm like, they're two different things. But but yeah, I'm like, it doesn't go away what she did.
Right.
So, and it's weird because they got bad feedback from Peyton, right? Cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want Haley to be a cheater too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Hmm.
think it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're like, I've got nothing.
Yeah, I don't. That would be the answer, the answer for the writers.
Because I'm just saying, if you were writing it, wouldn't you want one good girl on the show that doesn't cheat?
Hmm. Well, so for right now, that's looking like Brooke. So that's
But till the future, it's like, so in their own way, they've all cheated. Or they've all been the other girl, woman, whatever. Do you not remember season 4?
with Chase or. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Now I remember. Give me a second. Yep, I got it. I mean, yeah, it was messy.
This is what I'm saying is, wouldn't you want one good one on the show?
Hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
know the creator had something, like his own issues, but why would you want this for each girl? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just normal thinking. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
just
we
something.
know the creator was not, he didn't think normal like, we do and
Yeah.
rational.
And maybe he just thought all women cheat. So even the good, like so-called good ones,
So
good
yeah, if
girls.
anybody has the answer of why Haley had to go down this road, let us know. Because I would have rather loved to support her in her music career than hate her for it.
Hmm. And then at the school on the quad, Brooke calls, no, Brooke and Felix are sitting together when Brooke and Lucas make eye contact.
I'm not really all into this Felix and Brooke all lovey-dovey situation.
Right.
Eh, I
Because
think
it's
I was tired
definitely,
of him. Well, I was tired of him 5 episodes ago.
yeah, it just doesn't seem like his character to do like
No,
that.
like honestly, I'm waiting for him to like break
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just like, okay, it's like a Dan when he's like being really nice. You're like, when's the shoe gonna fall? And
Mm-hmm.
then of course it does. But for Felix, it's like, oh, is it next episode? Like
Right.
I can't take this nice guy in Felix at all.
Mm-hmm. And then Anna walks by and Lucas catches up to her and she says that she was confused, that he's talking to her, after he showed up at her door talking about another girl. But when she remembered he has a reputation of being a total asshat, it cleared things up. And then she walks away. And then next scene, Lucas catches up to Brooke now and he tells her, nice necklace. And she says, Felix gave it to her. He says he thought they were over, but Brooke says that that was before they cranked it up to full on dating. And Lucas asks if she's sure about this, and Brooke says she knows he doesn't like Felix, but he doesn't know him. And then, Lucas tells her that he wants her to be happy and she says if she's dating Felix, she's dating, and he's dating Anna. Does that mean that they're somehow related? And then that's when Lucas tells her that he broke up with Anna. or he was about to tell her, and then that's when Felix walks up. And then apparently he forgot a kiss. So, because he was trying to make Lucas jealous, obviously. And Lucas did look away when they did kiss. And then, Felix says he'll see her later and walks off. And Brooke tells Lucas she's happy and she hopes he is too.
Oh my God. The next scene though, when Karen calls Andy and some other woman answers the phone, I was like, oh,
And then he was in the shower.
And then I'm looking for Andy. He's in the shower. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, this just sounds so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't really know too much about him, right?
Right.
They've
Like
only been
Karen?
somewhat, yeah,
Yeah.
they've only been
Mhm.
somewhat dating for a couple weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just like, all right, bye
And
bye.
then she also said he bought them the same kind of phone too, so that's even more, suspect.
Well,
Thus,
and you have to think too, like Karen, the last person she put her heart out there for. I don't want to say it was Keith because it really wasn't. Because she didn't want anything to do with him, but
Mhm.
it was Dan.
Yeah.
It's like she hasn't really had anybody. So, the first guy that comes around since then is Andy, and it's like, oh, they're all cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially finding out that Keith slept with Deb.
Right.
But I get that it was Dan's wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were getting a divorce. They were separated.
Right.
Like some people go on for 10 years, through a divorce. You're supposed to be single for that time.
Right.
So at some point, Deb had to move on. She just happened to move on with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, but I wouldn't count that as cheating. Would you?
No, just still wrong in some sense, just because that's his brother.
But I'm just saying that they technically were almost divorced.
Mm-hmm. I
And
mean, yeah, they
he,
would have been if he didn't have his heart attack. So,
yeah, and he wasn't, Keith was not with anybody. So
mm-hmm.
it's not like they were the other people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is something different. And she doesn't really know much about Andy, and all of a sudden he is taking a shower.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds really bad.
Yeah. And then Deb pulls up to see Karen, because Karen was outside of the club, and she wants to talk to her, says she made a mistake, and Karen says, maybe what she did with Keith was a mistake, but lying to her was a choice, one that she can accept from a business partner or a friend, and walks off. And then inside the club, things get interesting with Lucas and Jules.
This is like the first time that they're like hanging out together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird that Karen gave Jules a job?
Yeah, kind of. But as a favor to Keith. Um, so I guess things aren't that strange with them. Um, but yeah, Karen doesn't know Jules or anything. Keith doesn't even know Jules, but Lucas gets to know her a little bit better when he sees that Dan is calling her cell phone.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, if you know that Dan could call any minute, right?
Right.
Why wouldn't you keep your phone in your pocket?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It wasn't even near her on the counter. It was all the way on the other side too, so he could see it.
Yeah, right by Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, it wasn't an iPhone or anything. Back then we could actually put our cell phones in our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it was small enough to put in your pocket, honey, or your purse. You didn't have to actually keep it out for anybody to see. I mean, what if Karen would have seen? Or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keith, if he was there, to see
Mm-hmm.
how she's doing. I mean, it's just not good.
Yeah. I mean, she could have lied and said it was a different Dan, but that probably wasn't too convincing. And then she walked off too to answer the phone call, so that's more suspicious. And then the next morning, that's when Lucas goes to see her, confront her about that. And he asks her how she knows Dan, And then, she makes a big, he tries to, act like she doesn't know what he's talking about, but he says, Dan, his brother, and brings up about the call
Yeah, the one
yesterday.
you bought a car. Well, and then he said the one that you bought your car from.
hmm And yeah, so she says that she bought a car from him and he had some questions about her credit references. And Lucas says he's just looking out for Keith. And Jules says that Keith's, all grown up, he can handle himself.
I did like
And
that he was looking out for Keith.
yeah, me too. So Lucas just, asks if they can forget about it, and she says, forget what? Yeah. And then Payne brings Jake to Trek. He thinks it's amazing. And Payne says it's been harder than she thought. And he asks, when does she ever give up? So just encouraging her to keep going with that. And then Payne tells him that Nathan and Haley got married. And it turns out Haley is a talented musician and she's
And then
going for
this
it.
is where he says, "Oh, well, she was kissing some guy at the bus stop."
hmm Yeah, so he was, surprised to hear that she was married to Nathan and she was doing that. It was funny because he said that the guy was scrawny and had a guitar case and sort of healthy hair.
Why do you think that was funny?
Just because, Chris probably wouldn't have like the scrawny part at least. And, Payne says that's someone that she shouldn't be kissing. Lucas ends up joining Nathan at the river court. He wants to play it, but Nathan says no because
It
he
was
doesn't know
funny.
CPR.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know CPR, so and I'm not giving you mouth to mouth, even if I did.
hmm
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
then,
but Lucas did say that he is getting that stupid test.
right.
I mean, I really wouldn't call it a stupid test, Lucas.
hmm But Lucas still tries to get the ball from Nathan, so Nathan throws it far and it lands in the river.
That was funny.
hmm And then
So
brings
those
up
alligators can
PlayStation.
have the ball.
Yeah. And then tells Nathan tells Lucas about playing the PlayStation because nobody ever croaked from that.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to go home because Haley's sister is there and they're fighting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, Lucas said that. PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah. But he said that
Got
involves him going home.
yeah. So Lucas asked Nathan if him and Haley are still fighting. And that's when Nathan explains her sister's here for a few days. And Lucas asks which one. Nathan says Taylor. And Lucas says she's crazy. Um, yeah, so I would have liked to hear a little more from Lucas about Taylor, because he had to have seen a lot of stuff that she did, growing up at
But
Haley's
not
house
really.
because Haley was with him all the time.
Yeah.
Or at least like hear about stuff. I just feel like he would have had some stuff to tell Nathan that would have been
Yeah,
maybe
I'm sure he
helpful.
heard about it, but I
hmm
don't know if he was really around it.
Right.
Um, but Nathan, he then tells Lucas that that he's seen her before. And I did like this backstory of actually finding out because, a lot of times shows just cut those plots of like the back history of it. It's
hmm
nice to know. But so she was a senior and they were freshmen.
Yeah.
And I guess that's when I told you he had to have been a freshman to move up on varsity. Like
hmm
if he's that good and stuff. But anyway, that's what happened. And it's weird though that the seniors threw a party at his parents' beach house.
Yep. Yep. I thought that too.
I was like, what?
hmm
And how, I mean, did they like tell him, you need to get your parents' key so that we can go to your beach house? Like, it just
hmm
doesn't really sound right to me.
Yeah, but I can still imagine, younger Nathan and Tim doing the same thing, like at the formal, trying to get the key from his parents,
Yeah,
instruct
but they
them.
were, and you have to think too, they were more naive then.
hmm
I don't know if there was a world where Tim could be more naive.
hmm
So anyway, yeah. Then of course he had to say that, she was the first girl he ever had sex with.
Yeah, and he was drunk too, so
And oh my God, but it was so funny because Lucas was just having time of his life out there, just laughing at him.
mhm.
And, Nathan just is like, like basically it's not funny and stuff. And then what really gets Lucas is when Nathan thinks that Taylor doesn't even remember.
Right.
Cause then it was funny because Lucas was like, "You rocked her world."
Mhm.
Uh, it's like it was very funny.
Yeah.
But see, I love these brother moments that they have. It's so cute.
Mhm.
Just watching the two of them, it's great.
Yeah, and then when they were messing around, Lucas was saying, "Remember, heart patient here."
I don't think Nathan cares.
Right. And then the next scene is with Felix and Brooke, where Felix asks, "How bad is it?" And, Brooke says, talking about her parents. Her mom threw their last piece of water fern at her dad last night, and it shattered where the hopper used to hang. And now he's sleeping in the pool house while they still have one. Um,
But seriously, just get rid of the house. You would save a
yeah.
lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
You'd actually have money.
Right. And, Felix asks if her parents are thinking of moving. She says no, because of course not. They don't want to lose the house. And, they're just yelling, and it's gotten to a point where she doesn't want to go home. So I was kind of both her and Nathan for a little bit. And Felix says, then they won't. And then he tells her that he'll buy her dinner. And then when they walk up to the restaurant, she's,
She
pulls him
remembers,
back.
yeah, she
Hmm.
remembers that's the one that he made her dine and dash.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so this is where he remember because I didn't know which part he tells her, but this is where because she's freaking out and he just was like what and was laughing and stuff, and he then tells her that he paid that night,
Yep. Yep. On his
and
way out when he left her.
yeah, because he's like I would never do that,
Hmm.
and it's like you think you might.
Right.
That's why I just didn't remember which part he said it, but he said it this one.
Yeah, so then Nathan gets home. Taylor apologizes to Nathan for the mess. She needed a bath after her 10-mile run. Nathan is surprised to hear that she runs. So it's basically a stress reliever for her. But she has to make a joke about how, how does he think that she has this great ass? And then she asks if he's blushing and calls it adorable, teasing him still. Obviously, you could tell that she's doing this on purpose because she does remember him.
Oh, but then this is where she offers him a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Then just gets. I mean, it's funny, but it's just like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Like Haley, you really should be at home. I don't know what the heck you're doing, but you should be at home.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, how does Haley have so much time to go and hang out with Chris when she's supposed to be working?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, because clearly here she's probably working because Chris is
Mm-hmm.
on tour. So I don't know, just kind of weird. But yes, of course she's not home.
Yeah, but Taylor's still teasing him. She has her leg propped up on the coffee table, putting lotion on after her shower. Talking about how, dinner was chucked in the garbage, little sis coming home in the middle of the night, hushed arguments behind closed doors. And then, Nathan, it's kind of like she was like coaxing him to admit what's going on without actually asking directly, and so Nathan does end up asking if Haley had told her about Chris.
Well, and then she said you were pretty threatened by him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, it was weird though, because he said only because Haley was buying his crap. I thought that was weird because I'm like, Nathan, you were jealous of him. He was,
Mm-hmm.
remember, he was mad right when Chris said, when Haley wasn't even around, like, you know how many guys would want to, what was it, bang your wife or something?
Yeah.
I was just like, you hated him at that moment. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
don't act like it. And Haley wasn't even around. So
Yeah.
it's not that she's buying his crap. I mean, she is, but you are mad. You're jealous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was mad at Felix,
Mm-hmm.
who
Yep.
Haley had no interest in.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me that you're not jealous.
Right.
Now I have a question though. Are you happy because of the whole Chris thing that he gets to flirt with Taylor?
No.
Me either, because I'm like, two wrongs do not make a right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a repeat of Keith and Deb, except it happened in the past, but
Yeah, I just don't like it. I'm like, Nate. Oh, and you know what's weird too
mm,
is it's hard because we love Nathan and Haley so much. And you know how it's like, oh, there's no one else for Nathan but Haley, right?
mm-hmm,
But then it's like, right, in this episode, that he's flirting with her.
mm-hmm,
And it's annoying because, um, the Nathan that we love wouldn't
right.
make a move, wouldn't look twice. But here he is. And it's like, it's hard because we love him. But also, he didn't really flirt that much with Haley. Do you know what I mean?
Like in the beginning or in this episode. The
Ever.
yeah.
Do you know what I
Try,
mean?
yeah, I'm trying to think of, like the last thing you said to her that was flirty. Um,
Nothing.
maybe the like I'll always protect you or something. Maybe that was the last thing I can remember at the top of my head,
That's
but
not flirting.
I, don't know, I guess it's more romantic, but yeah, I
But
don't
I'm
know.
just like, he didn't flirt with her. So it's just kind of weird that he's flirting with her sister. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
how bad that is? It's
Yeah.
like, are you sure that Nathan and Taylor aren't supposed to be together?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, after watching this, that's what, like, my mind is like, I love Nathan and Haley. So why would you bring Taylor in, make him flirt with her when he didn't even flirt with Haley?
Mm-hmm.
And then as a sister, like if that was your sister and your husband, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't flirt with me like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not into me, but you're into her. And given how
Mm-hmm.
Haley had all those insecurities back then, which was what, a month ago? Um, it's like you would think you wouldn't do that.
Right.
So I don't know. I just don't like that because we love them,
Mm-hmm.
that he's flirting with her sister when he never did flirt with her.
Right.
It's one thing if they had that flirty going on,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd be like, okay, not really, but okay, and it's just someone new,
Mm-hmm.
for the time being. But he never did it with Haley. That's why I'm just like, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And then Taylor mentioned how she thinks that Haley blames her for the pressure she puts on herself. She didn't want to disappoint their parents like she did.
But again, no mention that Quinn was also a little like Haley.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so then your favorite part when Nathan gets another beer from the fridge, but she
My fa-
says,
my favorite part.
well, you're talking about it a couple of times before this.
Oh my
Yeah, because
God.
that's when Taylor says that she can't believe her little sis snagged a hottie. Usually she gets them first, and that's when he drops it.
It really was funny.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't break. It just, spilled everywhere. But
This is what I mean. He didn't do any of that with Haley.
mhm. And then back at the restaurant, Felix asks if Brooke wants a drink, or dessert or new shoes after dinner. And Rick tells him he doesn't have to buy her things. He goes pay for it. And that's when he tells Brooke that it's okay. He's with her now and he's going to take care of her. And did you think that was
What's he
more
what's
hmm?
he gonna do without his parents' money one day?
Right? Yeah, be like Brooke. But when he said that, do you think he was being like romantic or creepy when he said that? Like he'll
No,
take
I
care of
think
her.
no, I think it was a gesture.
Okay, yeah, because Hillary and Sophia, I can't remember who said who. It's like they kind of blend in my mind.
I was
So
gonna say, you keep
yeah,
saying both of them. Like, do they just
yeah,
blend in your head?
yeah. I think it was mainly Hillary and Sophia. They were saying like that was kind of like a creepy way, like um, just like how actually a creepy man would put it that way. I
But
don't know.
he's not creepy. He is their
Hmm.
age.
Yeah.
Like, yes, if it's a grown man telling you and you're 16 that, yeah, but he's not. He's a teenager.
Yeah, more like in the sense of like she like Brooke can't take care of herself. Like she's like some helpless girl that he needs
I
to
didn't, but
help.
I didn't take it as that. I took it as, that fairy tale
Mm-hmm.
that girls have. Like maybe the girls didn't have that on drama queens in their life, but a lot of girls do. They
Mm-hmm.
dream of a man taking care of them, like financially. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, like yes, women can work too, but when you like, have you ever seen those Facebook? Oh, you're not on Facebook,
Huh.
but like, there's these like Facebook posts, and I'm sure they're on like other platforms, but it's this whole thing, and it's gone around like all the people we know, they'll share it. It's like everyone has the same idea. Just because they don't, we all do. But anyway, it's about how like guys tell the girls, why don't you, you don't cook like my grandma does. And they're like, and then in response, it's, well, you don't make the money that my grandpa made. As in, that's why the women could stay home
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
the men went out and worked and they
Yeah,
could
no,
be
so.
home to take care of the kids. But now men don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they rely on the woman's paycheck.
Right. And
And
things are more expensive now too.
right. And so I think
Mm-hmm.
that's like the whole thing is it's a generation thing, but I think also too women do have it in their minds of a man taking care of them. I'm sorry, but they
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah, especially Brooke.
But I'm just saying like okay, like am I all into material things? No, but the thought that somebody would want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
that just means everything. Like
Yeah.
would I want him to buy me everything? No. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's that he would want to.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's creepy at all. He comes from
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that Felix shows love
Mm-hmm.
is by money.
Yeah.
And I think Brooke, at least used to, not now, but used to
Mm-hmm.
take love as money.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but I don't think it's creepy. I just think he was raised with money.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he, in his mind, thinks that taking care of someone he loves means actually paying for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, how many girls, Cynthia, would love for a man to buy them dinner? Do you know what
A
I
lot.
mean? This
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm saying is yes, maybe though the girls didn't, but like most girls do. They just
Mm-hmm.
do. It's that's what I'm saying is I don't Felix is just the rich guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lucas can only do so much because he doesn't have money. So
Right.
he has to be clever in different
Mm-hmm.
ways.
Yeah. Because
Nathan used to be able to do whatever he wanted with money, and now he can't. It's like
mm-hmm.
things change. And that's why I do worry a little about what Felix is going to do, just because Felix was raised with money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would think that since Brooke's family, her parents don't have money, that she would, be more accepting of Felix's gifts, especially because we know season one Brooke was, definitely saying like she's gonna marry rich and everything, and now here she is with the rich guy, but yet he's not exactly who she wants, turns out. But yeah.
Right. And that's the thing is she's changing,
Mm-hmm.
which is good, but at the same time, and I do think, Felix does have the old school mind, but I don't think it's wrong.
Right.
Do you?
No,
Do you agree that it's like pervy and weird?
no.
I just thought he's being sweet for once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just
I mean,
think that's how he shows his love.
yeah. It would only be weird if he kept doing it for every single little thing, but yeah, so
I mean, he's just trying to buy her jewelry and dinner, which is what most girls want.
Yeah, like usual boyfriends should, yeah.
Exactly.
At
Like
least
when
once in a
for
while.
like on Valentine's Day or their
Mm-hmm.
anniversary, it's like,
Yeah.
where's my jewelry? Where's, where are we going to dinner? It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing, except for
Yeah.
he's doing it anytime, not just on, which by the way, I hate I hate Valentine's Day because I am like, you should show that same love and affection
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the year, not just on one day.
Right.
And also, you're going to show that same affection on the same day everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Show me
Right.
you love me on a different day.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Valentine's Day. But see, that's the thing. Felix is showing her every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so he is, he's no, he said he said that he would guard her heart with his life, and that's what he's doing. So, and then Anna goes over to Peyton's and she sees, the food that Peyton has. She's cleaning up, and she says that she had a friend over, and
And it's weird that, well, don't you think that Anna kind of thinks it's Lucas?
mm, I don't know. I didn't think about that because yeah,
I don't know,
Peyton didn't
just the
say.
way how she was like, well, who was it? Like, just kind
Hmm.
I was just kind of like, do you think that's Lucas? Because
Well,
it's
she
it's
knows about
not.
Jake, but I don't know. She could have thought about either guy.
But
So
she also knows Jake hasn't read her email or hasn't responded to her.
yeah,
So
so
he's in her mind, he might be long gone.
yeah. But then later she learns that that wasn't him because they're still talking, her and Lucas. But yeah, Payne says that she was gonna call her Anna because the last time she saw her, it was just like Powell and P and day. And Payne Anna says she's sorry and she has every right to be mad at her. She needed a friend, she wasn't there for her. And then she asks Payne if she can take her up on the offer about talking about anything. And Payne says yeah, and that's when Anna tells Payne that Lucas broke up with her. And she's not sure they were even dating, but now that's not even, possible. And Payne tells her she's sorry, and Anna says she doesn't know what she's doing, and Payne says nobody does. So, just that was nice to give her some advice because, they're teenagers and it's true, we don't really know what you're doing. And Payne says, there's nothing wrong with her. Maybe there's something wrong with Lucas because, she's great. And she tells Anna that. And that's when they hug. And then after they pull, it's kind of like Chris and Haley in a parallel scene just because, one's making a move on the other one, the other one, well, no, because Haley likes Chris. You know what I mean? Like the setup
It's
for the
not the
kiss.
same.
Because each pairing was hugging. That's how they started. And then
Yeah,
when they pulled
that
away from
part.
the hug,
But
that's
not
when,
their feelings
yeah,
because Haley has feelings.
yeah, just the movement of it all. Yeah, so after they pull away, and then Peyton was caressing her hair too, and then Anna leans in and kisses her. And then I was, Peyton didn't pull away right away either, like Haley, but she still put away a lot sooner than Haley.
Well, she was definitely in shock too.
Yeah.
Haley wasn't. Haley was like, I've been dreaming of this day since I met you the
Hmm.
last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then, Payne pulls away and Anna realizes she misread the moment and Payne explains that it's not her thing, but says it's cool. Then she still walks out. And then right away we see Payne go to see Anna the next day. And Anna says she doesn't know what came over her. She was upset and she wasn't thinking straight, and Payne says it's cool. Now a lot of stuff, at the formal makes sense. And
Well,
Anna
I
actually
liked when she said we can still be friends, right?
hmm um yeah, and she tells Anna she can't be afraid to be who she is. And but then about the friend saying Anna says she doesn't know if she can do that. She has conflicted feelings for Peyton right now at the moment. And then next scene, Taylor and Nathan are running on the beach. I wonder how long that beach is because apparently they ran all the way to the beach house, Dan's beach house. So where did they even start? I'm wondering their run,
They
but
they started at the apartment.
was the apartment near the beach though? That was like
No,
my oh, okay. Um yeah, so
no, I'm just like he's spending way too much time.
yeah.
I don't think he ever spent that much time with Haley.
Hmm. Yeah, so he beats her to the lifeguard chair. And then she says she's been running since she left home. And Nathan says he knows the feeling. And then she goes on to say about the bathing ritual. She made it up. It was bar somewhere. She got the name from about like this symbolizes washing away of the past sins and the rebirth of the family
Yeah,
soul.
but Nathan's answer was pretty funny. He said they must
Hmm.
have a big tub.
Yeah. That's when she says they use the ocean.
Ah, it was funny.
Hmm. And then Nathan says they'll go, into the water on the count of three, but Taylor cheats and starts running after he says one. And that's when she tells him the truth about it's a bar in Durham. And then the next scene is at the river court where Felix walks
It's
up
a
to
bar and
Lucas
where?
in Durham, Durham.
Yeah, and what's Whitey's name?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what she said. So I don't know.
No, that's his name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
That's why I'm like, did they pull that from there?
maybe. I don't know. Because it is a fictional place. I looked it up just in case, but nope, it doesn't exist. And then next scene at the river court, Lucas goes to see, I mean, Felix goes to see Lucas, because he, knows about Lucas anything's with Anna. He says that she's crying at home.
I
And
hated this scene.
especially after the first punch, because he kept, kept going. He didn't stop there, especially after Lucas had hit his, um, was it his face or what did he?
Yeah, well, he first hit his face, and then he went. Then, of course, he has to go. No, yeah. Well, remember, Lucas hit the table. He like was
Hmm.
falling to the ground,
Yeah.
and then he was on the ground, and Felix had to go one more and kick him in the stomach.
Hmm. Yeah, he hit his head on the seat
Yeah,
of the picnic table. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I hate this because he's like, oh,
Hmm.
is it, like this whole thing of like Lucas, her, Anna. They haven't. They were dating for like a week.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on now.
Yeah, but some brothers are like that. So,
Yeah, well, he also doesn't know his sister.
right.
His sister's making moves on Peyton, not
Hmm.
Lucas.
Right.
Um, but yes, and what's crazy though is Lucas didn't really fight back.
Yeah, because he didn't want to. Yeah.
Isn't it? But you're getting your ass beat and you're not gonna try to fight?
I don't know, maybe because he saw he didn't do anything wrong and or maybe he didn't want to like exert his heart, with the whole just in case if he did have the disease that Dan has, you know?
I have a question for you, Cynthia.
Hmm.
Um, do you think Lucas can fight?
Mm. Well, he was getting Nathan those couple of times in the classroom and then out in the woods. So I think he can, only when he wants to.
Because the future, there's a scene with the guys, and people's comments are like, oh, so and so should be so happy Lucas isn't there. And I'm like, huh? If anything, you should be glad Dan isn't there. I'm like,
Hmm.
what are you talking about, Lucas? I'm like, seems to me like so far Lucas keeps getting his butt beat up.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? I don't know if you know what scene it is, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Because I'm like, especially right now, hasn't really won a fight.
Right, except for Nathan.
Yeah, but I don't even really know about that. We didn't really get to see it.
Yeah. And then Nathan takes Taylor to his, parents' beach house. And, she asks why they aren't living there. Apparently,
That was
Nathan
funny.
has
Why
the
aren't we living
key.
here?
Yeah,
Okay. And okay, so Nathan knows that Dan's at work now, so he decides to go to the beach house because that's the only time I feel like he can go is when Dan isn't there.
right.
That's
Yep.
just okay. As much as I don't like Dan, that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
You go, first of all, what did he do? Make a copy of the key?
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Or he never gave his copy back to his
Mm-hmm.
parents. But it's like you, which by the way, I don't like those people that they don't visit you or they don't visit their parent. They only go when you're not there or when the parent isn't there. I know people that are like that. And it's really annoying because that just shows the true person you are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Nathan just using his parents' beach house, like really?
Yeah. So then he turns on the fireplace and tells Taylor to go grab the towels. He starts to
Oh,
say
but
where they are.
she remembers. She's starting to remember a lot, and I thought she was
Mm-hmm.
drunk.
No, I think she was just waiting for her moment to tell the truth that she does remember. So
No,
now
but
it's,
I thought she was drunk that night.
oh, yeah, yeah. So now at the elephant in the room acknowledged, Nathan says
Isn't
that
it
he was,
weird? Isn't it
mm,
weird on these shows that when they're really wasted, they can remember a whole lot.
right. Yeah, so Nathan explains to her that he was wasted that night, and Taylor asks if that means he doesn't remember her. Nathan says, of course he does. He just didn't think she would come back to bite him in the ass. Taylor says this time she'll only nibble so that he's again. Yeah, so back then it was different, but today we don't really consider, being consent when someone is under the influence, And then he was a freshman, so he was a bit younger, at least, by age bracket. So I would say Taylor probably did take advantage of him that night,
But
even
wasn't
though,
she drunk too?
well, that's what you said. We don't really know. And I don't know. It's hard to say.
But he remembers sleeping with her.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
couldn't have
it
been
had
that drunk.
yeah, and it had to come back to him after a little bit too. But I think she remembered the second she saw him when he opened the door.
Yeah, but he remembered her.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say because, like I said, we didn't see the scene or a flashback. And then um, Nathan says, why didn't she say anything before? And she says she was having fun watching him squirm.
I
Of
know she
course,
was.
yeah.
Oh.
And they toast their drinks because now they're drinking his parents' or Dan's wine or whatever, beer, whatever it was. And then she, all of a sudden, is like telling him why she's really, not at school anymore because she was caught cheating on her exam, and then she was also caught, being in an affair with her professor who was married. And apparently, he was paying for her rent and expenses until, the wife found out and she got kicked out.
How did the wife not find out? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, so Taylor's kind of blackmailing him, saying that they'll keep each other's secret from him.
well, could you imagine? That's probably how she got her rent paid. Was she was blackmailing the professor?
Yep.
I'm gonna tell your wife if you don't pay for my rent.
Hmm.
Ugh, I don't like
Yeah.
Taylor.
Mm.
Do
And
you?
like not, no, no, because you think she would have been better in the future, but she's not. She doesn't change at all. And then
No.
the next scene is with Jake and Peyton. They talk about music, and then Peyton asks how his life is. He says it's been hard, not being in school. He's working, job to job, really, happy ones. And then, he's afraid that Nikki is going to show up at any time and take Jenny away. And then, he brings up he has to go back soon. And,
Yeah, and he's
he act,
leaving. Yeah, he's leaving tomorrow, and he's
yeah.
gonna have dinner with his parents, which he should. He hasn't seen them in a while.
Mhm. I'm just surprised that his parents would let him, like, come back without Jenny and then disappear again, you know,
Mhm.
because I would be concerned.
Well, and then over a girl.
Well, I mean, it's Nikki and it's a custody battle that he's
No,
riding
I'm
away.
saying Peyton, you're coming back,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
risking
Mhm,
everything, and you're coming back
mhm.
for a girl?
Right.
Like, if that was your kid, you would be
Mhm.
like, absolutely not.
Right.
So that's my point is, as a parent, mm-mm.
Right. Yeah, so Payne asks if he can see the night again, and he says he will. He'll come back after dinner. And then Andy walks into the cafe and says to Karen he thought that since she wasn't answering his calls, maybe she'd been abducted or
Abducted,
something.
yeah.
And then, she brings up she assumed that his mother would have an accent like his. And, she says about calling and 'cause apparently Andy has a brother too, as well, but we never see him. But she explains that she called him in New York and a woman answered and said he was in the shower and says that this might not be fair to him, but with everyone lying to her lately, um, she asks who the woman is, and he says,
Now, did you like that he didn't get to explain himself to her?
no, I didn't like it. I mean,
Like
in
Karen,
usual,
Karen, ever since we met Andy, she has not
mm,
let him ever speak
yeah,
because she just runs out. She's a little like
mm-hmm,
Nathan. She just runs out.
mm-hmm. I mean, with usual circumstances, you would think that he was cheating, but we find out later that he wasn't. But
Yeah, but nothing. No, there's been no
mm-hmm,
time that she actually lets him explain himself.
right,
She just assumes and then ends it.
mm-hmm. And then Nathan and Taylor get back to the apartment to find Haley, and she mentions them about them finally getting home. Nathan says he left a note. They went for a jog. Then,
Okay, I left a note.
yeah,
Like, really? You're married
mm-hmm,
to her and I left a note. Like, that should be
yeah,
good enough, right? No.
mm-hmm, yeah, because they have cell phones now, so they could just call or
Exactly.
text. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Haley asks if they went, for their jog in Atlanta. And then Taylor says she's gonna take a shower, and then after she leaves, Haley tells Nathan they're supposed to be working on their marriage, even though Haley can't say much because she was gone for a while too.
Okay, and that's my thing is where were you last night or whatever night
Mm-hmm.
it was? It's
Yeah.
like you're with Chris, so don't even kissing him. So don't even say that. Oh, and here's the other thing. Given how you guys are so standing so close together and and he kissed you or whatever, wouldn't that mean the next time you're together you stay 5 feet apart?
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Yeah.
somebody had kissed you and you quote didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
why would you stand that close to them again? You
Mm-hmm.
just wouldn't. Not if you like them, or I mean, not if you don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
But she likes them, so I don't know what she's talking. But to say we're supposed to be fixing, right now you're jealous,
Mm-hmm.
and which is good because that means you like Nathan, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you can't say much because
Mm-hmm.
right now we're not liking you.
Mm-hmm. And Nathan came back with, at least she knew where he was. And then, Haley brings up, that he's spending so much time with Taylor, and Nathan asks if she's threatened by her, and Haley says she doesn't trust her, and then walks off.
Nathan can't trust Haley right now either, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then at Felix's, Brooke walks in. She tells him she can't keep the necklace. And she said that her mom married her dad for his money and she doesn't want to be the same way.
okay.
You
So
know?
this was nice that Brooke came to her senses.
Mm-hmm.
And is showing a different side of Brooke that we like. And I get where she's coming from. I mean, I didn't wasn't raised with money, but um, you know, you watched your parents do this. Your
Mm-hmm.
mom clearly only married your dad for money.
My dad married Deb.
So it's like, and you see how well those marriages
Right.
lasted, and
Mm-hmm.
they went so well. So it's like, no, I mean, so should she marry, because or should she date him or whatever because he has money? No.
Right.
And I'm glad she's changing from season one, from when she did say, she
Mm-hmm.
was going to marry someone rich. Well, I think she's really changing because of her parents. I think if her
Mm-hmm.
parents still had the money, she'd probably still want to marry somebody rich.
Yep. And probably be
But
with
yeah,
Felix.
but yeah, I did like that she gave him the whole thing. She made, gave him the necklace back and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
then you have to feel for him. Like I get her side, but I
Mm-hmm.
get his side too,
Yeah.
which was I'm not doing this. you know, like he goes like, I'm doing this basically like because I like you and I
Mm-hmm.
want to.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the difference
Mm-hmm.
is he wants to. It's not like he feels like he has to.
Right.
Like this
We
is
got.
what's expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he even thought that she was breaking up with him by giving him the necklace back, but she wasn't. Just breaking up with his money. Yeah, so Brooke says she doesn't really want to go home, so Felix tells her to spend the night with him. And she says she's not in the mood. And Felix says just for her to, spend the night anyway, they'll just sleep. And she says he's really full of surprises. And then the next scene is with Peyton at her house. She's laying down and Jake is sitting up next to her. She asks if he's having trouble sleeping. He says he's just listening to her breathe and thinking about stuff. And he brings up the other night when he found her, being a drug deal, because apparently Lucas had called him to tell him. And then
That
so
was the
Peyton,
thing was it was like, wait, Lucas told you? Like
hmm
he actually answered Lucas's call?
right,
You don't think Nikki could track from Lucas too?
right, hmm
Um, but also it's nice, I guess, that he called him. I don't know.
hmm And Payne admits she did coke with the guy, but one time, and she knows it was stupid. And she says that she was weak when tells him not to worry about her. And he says he knows, but what if he wants to? And then Lucas drops by to see Jules again.
Again, oh my God.
Hmm
But I did love it because, she first was like, oh, I want to come inside. And he's just staying out there going, so you paid cash for the car, which means there was no credit check. Like he's such like the little detective. It's so funny.
hmm
And then of course do you believe her story
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe.
from all her lies?
Yeah, because like I don't know. It sounded like that it didn't happen that long ago. If she needed to pay for the medical bills, because I feel like she might still be like, if not physically bruised and emotionally bruised, just to go into like even like a fake relationship with another man. Because like she might still have that fear of getting in that domestic violence again. So I don't know.
Yeah, because it was weird because she said she was engaged like 2 years ago. She was engaged to this guy, and he hit her a few times, and it put her in the hospital. And then she had all those bills. And what did she say? She found a website or something about um
That she do anything legal for money.
yeah. And then of course Dan jumped on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they were vague about that. I don't know if it was like a certain like if it was like um drag website or something similar to that, or dark web. I don't know. I feel like Dan could know everything about that if he wanted to, but
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, of course, Dan would call her.
hmm
Um, but that's why I'm like, I don't know. Are we supposed to believe her story at this point?
yeah, I
Because
don't know.
everything she said is a lie. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then maybe too because it's kind of like played out before like they like certain like either it's both of them or one of them goes into a relationship where they're like faking that they have feelings for each other and then it turns out to be true. So I've kind of seen that too many times, but
So did Dan buy her a car then?
yeah, I had to be like give her the cash
Because
to buy it with, yeah.
yeah, he had to have given her the cash to go and meet Keith to
Mhm.
pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, think
Yeah.
about it. Dan is doing all this for revenge.
hmm
Ah. But I didn't like when Jules was like, um, because when Lucas was like, well, what did he make you do and stuff? And she said, that he wanted her to make Keith fall in love with her. And I was like, well, and I don't like that she said that it broke her heart because she actually fell for him. And I'm like, but it's just hard to believe you at this point.
mm
And at this point, I don't care what you wanted or anything anymore because you're a liar. And once Keith finds out, you're going to be a goner.
Right. And then the next scene, Peyton wakes up to find Jake not next to her. She sees that he's only packing. And she thought she was having a bad dream to only wake up and find out it's real. But she knows he has to go. And then Jake brings up the moment when she said she was weak the other night, and he goes to show her something that he uses when he's feeling weak. And it's a piece of paper with her words from the first email to him, saying, "If my hopes could bring you home, you and Jenny would be with me now." So he says he, thinks about those words when he's, just having a bad time working or anything.
What did you think, though, when he said, "You are so strong, Peyton. You don't even know it"?
Right. Yeah.
I
I
was
mean,
like,
she is, if she digs deep enough.
eye rolls because it's come from Jake.
Why? Because he's not strong?
No, just because I said I wasn't a Jake and Peyton fan.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know too much about him to fall in love with him. Like all these, like there are girls that do love Jake, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know much about him.
yeah, he says that if those words can get him through some dark days, and just thinking about how they're on a piece of paper, just imagining the real thing, he thinks about that.
Now,
He says, yeah,
do you agree with what they're about to do?
no, because it's just putting them in danger. Because like I said,
Be good.
yeah, because if they go get Jenny and then come back, like I said, eventually I feel like Nikki, after searching Seattle for some time, she would think, okay, they're not here, so let me go back to Tree Hill and ask Brooke and Payne again. Like
Or
that would
she
be,
has people in town.
yeah.
Like not everybody leaves to go to college. So there's people I'm
Mhm.
sure that are in town that know her that are like keeping an eye out on Jake.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what like I'd be fearful of too is who do you know that is telling you information about me?
Right.
Um and it also puts a bad thing on his parents too because they're still in town.
Yeah.
Um
And
but yeah, I don't like the whole them going to get Jenny and bringing her back.
mhm.
I just don't like it.
And then at the apartment, Haley grabs Taylor's things and says she's helping her pack and time for her
Nathan
to go
said
back
she
to
can
school.
stay.
Hmm. And
Now, I will say, I don't think Nathan should have stepped
and
that over that boundary
yeah,
because that's her sister.
yeah,
If she wants to kick her sister out, she
hmm
can.
yeah,
Um, but I know she has to stay because they have this.
family.
No, because
Oh,
remember they both are keeping secrets from Haley.
hmm
And
yeah,
so she has to stay now because, you know, he doesn't want it to get out that they slept together. But it's
right.
like, no, she's got to go. And if Haley kicks her out, that's her sister.
Hmm.
But I don't think that like the husband should step in and overpower the wife when it comes to her family. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
Like if she wants to fight with her family all she wants, that's her business. Like
hmm
you just need to support her on it even if you disagree because that's her family.
yeah,
Now, if she was trying to kick out your brother or something, that's a different story because it's your family.
hmm
But yeah, I just was like, eh. Plus, I mean, Haley is only kicking her out because she is jealous.
yeah. And then back in Annie's class, he sees Karen and then goes on to say, about their lesson, but then he changes his mind and he asks the class, who can tell him what he said and wrote on the board on the first day. And Karen says greed because he called on her.
But now, when he walks in, it's like, oh God, what's gonna happen now?
Hmm.
Like, how are you going to bring up your relationship?
Right.
And then he calls on her, and I'm like, well, that I knew that was coming.
Hmm.
But I'm like, how do you go back to class the next day
Yeah, I don't know.
for either one of them?
Hmm. But
Okay,
you,
but I didn't like it. I'd be like, I'm not answering.
right.
I'd be the stubborn one.
Yeah. And then he says that, greed was a motivating factor for him until 3 years ago. He tells a story about the car accident. And so, because this is basically what he wanted to tell Karen before, but she wouldn't let him. So he actually has the guts now to admit it to his whole class, which I thought was something.
Well, I know that was the thing. You're saying it to the whole room,
Hmm. Yeah, and they'll tell people as well.
which,
So
by
like,
the way, I saw this one guy that's older than Karen in the scene. I
oh
was
yeah, I
like,
didn't.
dude, Andy's like 25 and he's teaching people that are in their 30s and 40s.
Right, yeah, sometimes it happens. And
Yeah, but
then
who's going to be that old listening to a 25-year-old?
I don't know, just some older people who want to try new things, better their education when they couldn't when they were
Something.
younger. Yeah. Um, so yeah, and he said that when the car accident happened too, he was doing so well with his business, it was just getting better and better. So this was like kind of like a wake up call for him because he really thought that he did kill her at first. Her name was Miriam. So that was the woman on the phone with Karen when she called. And then he explains that he visits her twice a year, her and her son, to make sure they're okay. And he does it out of guilt too, but he does it to remind himself that in this life there's a point when enough's enough. If anyone is haggling over money, they don't need enough's enough. So yeah, just give him a wake up call that he didn't need all that money that he was making. So now Karen knows the truth and that he's not I mean, he could still technically be cheating, but that's not the
Yeah,
whole story.
we don't really know what he's doing with her.
Right. And we don't know if she's like older than him. I mean, why am I saying that wouldn't matter anyhow? Because Karen's older than him. Um, and then also has a son, single mom with a son. So yeah, he definitely his type.
But how old is this
Um,
kid?
I don't know, he didn't say that, but I would hope that he would, at least know his age, like Lucas. And then next scene, Jake asks, Payne if she has the music for the road, and then, pack up the stuff. And then they say they're gonna get jerky at the first truck stop. And yeah, she says that she doesn't think it's gonna rain today. As like a way like everything's gonna look up from this point on. At least with them maybe. Who knows? And then Karen gets to the cafe where Deb tells her she knows she has no reason to believe anything she says, but she feels awful about it. Their friendship has got her through some dark days and she never meant to betray that. But she can have a lawyer, draw up papers to dissolve their partnership if it's what she wants. So surprisingly, Karen forgives her and just tells her not to lie again. But I don't know, because I would understand Karen if she did want to dissolve their partnership because it's sure everybody's been keeping secrets from her, Dad about Keith and Lucas with his heart test. So, and then Andy with the other woman. So, you know, surprised she didn't really go off on her like she did with Lucas. But
Yeah, but sometimes she wasn't with Keith.
yeah, that's true. I
And
don't know.
but also too, I mean, if she truly wanted Keith, she would have him because he wanted her. And
Hmm.
also too, like eh, when it comes to like business, you have to put your personal side of, you have to put your personal like business aside because isn't that what Mr. Big Shot Andy said?
Maybe at some point, I can't remember.
Do you know what I mean? Like when he was talking
Hmm.
about, oh, like you can't be nice in business.
Oh, hmm.
In order to get what you want and stuff. And it's like, and again, you can hate the person, but they might be great at business. So you're going to
Hmm.
partner with them.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing is, I don't think she should dissolve it because she clearly, I think, somewhat needs Deb a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
just just don't tell her anything. Keep it
Right.
business.
Mm-hmm. And then at the river court, Anna goes there to see Lucas and tells him Felix told her what happened, It was a fight. Lucas says he'll live. So I'm surprised that
I
after
don't know
he
if
hit
he
his
really live. I mean, he's walking just fine. He
yeah, that's what I
did he
say.
have any marks on him?
Yeah, as I say, with him hitting his face on the bench like that, he doesn't have a
Black and
marker or
blue?
bruise or yeah, black eye or something. Messed up jaw.
No,
Looks
I
like
was
yeah.
like, okay. I think he'd have something, but the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he didn't, I was like, whatever. And also, if you had just gotten kicked,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sure you have a big bruise.
Yeah, or even internal bleeding.
Right. So wouldn't you be like the next day, like, oh, I can't walk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little
Mm-hmm.
convenient, I guess, that he's just perfectly fine the next day.
Yeah.
And it's the next day, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Hmm. And also, why isn't she more upset over this?
I don't know, because he doesn't have a mark on him, so maybe she thinks he didn't get that hurt. I don't know.
Like, think about it. Like, if it was your brother that went and did
Mm-hmm.
this, like, you'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, so sorry he
Mm-hmm.
did this. Like, he doesn't know the full story. Like, blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd
Right.
go and yell at Felix. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't really seem to care too much that Lucas had gotten beaten up.
Right.
I was like, okay, there, Anna. Not exactly, a good person in this episode. I'm not rooting for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah. And then yeah, she just tells him about the rumors about her and another girl at their old place, old town. And and then she says that he's the first person she's ever said those words to out loud. And then he's kind of confused because he's like, okay. And then she keeps going on to say that she's into guys too, so it's confusing. And she guesses she put all her hopes on him, which wasn't fair. And she thought since he liked her and she liked him, maybe it would go away. And then until he broke things off, and then there she was right back where she started. She's not proud of it, but that's why she was mad at him. But she was really mad at herself. And she's not ready for people to know, especially Felix, because says he won't say anything. And then Anna says she won't say anything about Brooke. Apparently, she knows that too. I guess she narrowed it down after he told her that there was somebody else.
Well, and I think too, once she realized Peyton was with Jake, she was like, "Huh, there's only one girl left."
Even though she's with Felix.
Yeah, but who's he been hanging more around?
Right. We just haven't seen Anna see them together, so that's why I'm just wondering how she figured that out.
Well, didn't she? She went up to him and didn't she kiss him on his cheek or something? Or he kissed her or something. That one scene, and Brooke was like kind of jealous.
I'm talking about Broken Felix.
No, but I'm saying you said Anna hasn't seen him or something.
He hasn't seen Brooke and Felix together. I don't think she knew that. I didn't know that she knew that they were together
Hmm.
or not together. I don't know. To think that it would be Brooke. Like, I thought she would think that maybe Brooke's completely unattached at that point. I don't know. Anyhow, and then elsewhere, Payne is asleep in the passenger seat and Jake is still driving. She leans on his shoulder, and then Brooke is going through the pictures of her and Peyton and when Felix, puts a necklace back around her neck and tells her to have it as a gift, not a payment. And it just makes him happy seeing her wear it. And then Andy's on his computer when in his office when Karen walks in. She brought him a sandwich.
He has a big office.
Yeah. Yeah, she brings him a sandwich as like a way to apologize for
Also, again, it's like nobody sees these two
right.
together.
Mm-hmm.
They're in public.
Yeah. then she brought food in, so that would suspect that they're having more than just like a meeting
Meeting.
about
Yeah.
class. Yeah.
Well, even at the beginning when she called and the lady on the phone said, "Who is this?" and she said, "A student." And I'm like, "What
Hmm.
student calls their professor?"
Right.
Did you ever call yours
No, I don't have I don't have their
personally?
number. I mean, I think we got like their office phone number, but that was it. So,
Yeah, not their personal cell phone.
yeah. And then Lucas goes to see Keith, try to tell him about Jules, but
And
he finds
there's
that she's right
Jules.
there.
Now, why wouldn't she be though?
Right, yeah. Because he didn't he was gonna start talking before like he like looked more in the doorway and saw her. And he just said that he's looking for his MP3 player to cover it up.
Which is
And
weird
then
because when was the last time he was even there?
right. And then he invites him to stay, but he says no, that he's okay, he'll go. So I'm surprised Keith didn't, see that something was off too at that moment. And then at school, Anna and Lucas are seeing couples together. He asks Anna if she's feeling left out, and she says a little, and he asks if she wants them to be left out together, and she, does, takes his arm. And then at the apartment, Haley's in
Oh
the
my
kitchen.
God. So
Mm-hmm.
this scene, oh my God.
Yep.
So Nathan is on the computer on his laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me what he's doing. Um, and he sees somebody in the bathroom.
Yep.
And it's Taylor, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
so, of course okay, this is the problem. He still has feelings like, he's like starting to get feelings for her. Now, I'm not liking that.
Yeah.
And then, so in order to try to stop his feelings, he goes over to Haley to help her with dinner. And I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah. Avoid the temptation. That's what I saw too. But again, I don't really take too much notes. I just like listen to their podcast before we do this one, so I can't really like be detailed. But one of the girls, they said that they took that as Nathan like choosing Haley over Taylor, like
No.
choosing his present from his past. Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I
So
saw it as, oh yeah, crap. I got a ring on my finger. I
yeah,
better go help her because,
yeah,
I'm liking what's in there.
yeah, because he looked nervous. The way he was moving with his body, he was definitely
He's been doing that the
nervous.
whole episode.
Yeah, so I don't know why they took that as a different way.
Well, and two, if they watched the rest of the scenes that Taylor and Nathan had, it was so much of Nathan being awkward, which
Hmm.
he had never done before
Right.
with anyone,
Hmm.
not Peyton, not
Hmm.
Haley. So that's why I'm like, no, he really, you know,
Kind of season one Nathan again.
sees something in Taylor. And then of
Hmm.
course she has what, a towel around her in the bathroom. Like, of course, that's where he wants to be. Like,
I didn't even
Haley
see the
doesn't,
towel.
huh?
I didn't even see the towel. I just saw
No,
her
but I'm
shoulders
just
and.
saying, if you're in the bathroom, she just got out
Hmm.
of the shower.
Hmm.
I'm sure she has a towel on, but it's just like,
I feel like she could have been naked. Probably we just couldn't see in the
probably
mirror.
that I was
Hmm.
just trying to be a little bit more PG and set a
Hmm.
towel. But I was just like, no, I saw it as he was getting a little bit
Hmm.
so I was just like, no, 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 Nathan.
Yeah.
But I just didn't like it because then he goes over to, can I help you? And I'm like, because now Haley's gonna take it as you're working on your marriage.
Yeah. That's what I saw
And
too.
that's my eye roll because I'm like, you're not working on your eye, you're not working on your marriage. You're trying to not sleep with her sister.
Hmm.
No, just step it.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I didn't like Taylor and Nathan. Like, was it funny watching him? Yes, but at the same time, it's like he's married.
Hmm.
But then again, Cynthia, this is what these two chose.
Yeah.
They chose to be 16 and married.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like, because again, if they were in a normal, regular boyfriend girlfriend relationship, they would not be together
No.
because Taylor would have come in and ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
Chris would have come in and ruined it. The problem is these two have a are married and they have a legal bond that's
Mm-hmm.
that's binding them together. That's the only
Yeah.
thing at this point that's keeping these two together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty sad because I would have liked to see my favorite couple have at least something more solid than this. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? To keep them together.
Yeah.
What's keeping them together besides that marriage?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like these are my favorite
Mm-hmm.
couple. Like this is my favorite couple. And that's why I just don't I hate season 2. This is why I hate season 2. Chris comes around, Taylor comes around,
Mm-hmm.
anything to ruin these two.
Right.
But I also don't think that the two of them, even though I don't like what Haley's doing, I don't like what Nathan's doing, and they're both wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone needs to be the more responsible one in this relationship because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
seeing it.
Yeah.
And also, if Nathan's having these feelings,
Mm-hmm.
why are you spending time with her?
Right.
And wouldn't you have let Haley kick her out
Mm-hmm.
when she
Well,
wanted
yeah.
to?
Yeah, if it wasn't for the blackmailing, yeah.
No, but okay, play it this way. Haley kicks her out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's her sister. All he has to do is say, "Hey, she's the one that kicked you out, not me." Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. She kicked you out.
Mm-hmm.
He could have played it that way. But
Yeah.
instead he stepped in and now this is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw it as he was starting to see some temptation going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it as him working on his marriage at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what was your high and low?
Um.
There's probably a lot of lows.
Mm-hmm. I guess. I did like seeing Jake back because at least somebody was there for Peyton for once because nobody has been for a while. Um. But then I also did like Anna confiding in Lucas about everything that's going on with her feelings towards boys and girls and such because it is hard to say out loud, especially for the first time. And then my low would be just mm, I guess I mean it was pretty bad with Taylor, but like Chris too, because Haley did actually, cross that line on like Nathan yet, but she kissed him and almost left with him and leaving Nathan. So that was the low. In yours?
So for me, the low was Haley and Chris kissing again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the low was Nathan and, Taylor getting a little too close.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, and also Karen overreacting when she should have just let him talk.
Right.
And then the high. I loved when Nathan told Lucas that he slept with Taylor.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And yes, I think you're right. I did like when Nathan jumped the beer
Mm-hmm.
because it was just so funny. Even
Yeah.
though I don't like that he's doing it because he likes Taylor. I don't like that at all, but it was funny.
Yeah. And rating?
I would rate this an 8.
Yeah, 7.5.
Oh, I love how all of a sudden we've like switched. I'm going like higher than you.
Mm-hmm.
And then who's your best and worst?
My worst was Taylor because, she knew what she was doing. She was doing this on purpose to mess with Nathan. And um, I don't know if she was just doing it out of boredom or seeing if like he was really faithful to Haley or not, her sister, or maybe both. And then the best is Peyton because she was there for Anna because again, she Anna hasn't really had anybody to be there for her either with this, figuring out her sexuality thing. And then it was really big of Peyton too, especially after Anna blew her off, those times at school when the rumors were set on Peyton. So, and yours?
I'm gonna go with the best was Peyton
Mm-hmm.
because yes, I did like that she was there for Anna because if it was anybody else, um, like after Anna had kissed her,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been around the school. But because it was Peyton, she's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna say anything. So I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
And also I do think that the reason why she was able to tell Lucas was because Peyton helped her.
Yeah.
Um, then the worst, Haley. She
Right. For
kissed Chris.
kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here's the thing. Even though Taylor and Nathan, have their super flirting episode, and I didn't like it, I they still didn't kiss.
Right.
Yes, did they sleep together in the past? Yes. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
not judging off the past. I'm judging off this episode. And
Mm-hmm.
Haley still kissed Chris and then have the nerve to act like she's working on her marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't have both, honey. Sorry.
Yeah. And she's the one who messed it up in the first place. So,
That's the thing. They'd be a little bit more solid with Taylor coming into town if Haley hadn't cheated.
mm-hmm.
Like she's a cheater
Yep.
first.
Yeah.
So yes, she's the worst to me. I mean, she crossed the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, did Taylor too? Yes. But, I mean, Nathan does have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he chose at the end not to.
Yeah.
But no, Haley has a choice too, and she made the wrong one.
Yep.
And then what's the next episode?
Episode 12, Between Order and Randomness.
Interesting title.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.